I think the leadership is about to adapt to every situation. Yeah, but when you mention her name, look, if you cannot handle pressure here, you go out. To get into this team, you need to be really good. I want the players to feel safe with me. Hello, my name is Per Johansson. I'm the head coach of ETO, Győri Audi ETO KC club, and welcome to the Handball Mastermind. I think I was very early connected to some really good professors where I start handball and football at very early stage, and those two men who is not in life anymore, but they actually educated me outside my family, and we went early playing tournaments, and they learned me how to win and how to lose, and this was the start. I think from the really beginning I like handball more. For me, it's actually started long time before I went coach. I was coached very early, from 19 years old, and I think I was 15 years old when I go down to Gothenburg and saw the Yugoslavian Globetrotters Metula Plastica generation. I think this was the first, impression from the outside world, how they acting, how they played, how the coaches moved. And I think in that moment actually, then I was only 16 years I think, then I decided that I also want to be a coach. In the end of my playing career, I played in the second division, but I had a really good professor who was Torbjörn Klingvall, who was really before his time, and I made notes, and I already started to study what he was doing. He was perfect on this method and progression and how to build exercises and build trainings. And then I got the chance when I was 19 years old to train, cadets, but they were 15, 16 years old, and then I had them for 3 years, and we actually took a sensational silver in the Swedish Championship of Juniors, and then I became the youngest head coach ever in Sweden, and it still is. I was only 22 years old. You know, it was also in my club where I came from, so it was, I think, the toughest challenge already from the beginning. Of course, I followed them from Ragge Karlsson then to Per Johansson, and Per Johansson, who was the captain for so many years, he also invited me to, because they saw that I had talent, and he also bring me for some tournament, and of course to meet all of those stars and see how they played together. It was a fantastic generation that Sweden have, and of course this influenced me a lot also to put more energy into handball, and also that I was invited from him. I had two professors, Ingmar Eriksson and Nisse Blomqvist, who was really tough to me, but I had all the time good people around me. And after this, Stefan Löfgren became my boss when he quit, and I was the head coach for Sweden. So this era was extremely important for handball in general in Sweden, because I think they speak about this team like the best team sport ever, most successful. So of course it was important for everybody in Sweden at that stage. I think I'm really impressed about the women who don't have this broader selection, that they could have stayed in being a semi-final team or 5-6. I think the Swedish men's have a huge potential and also have had for several years. There the selections are bigger, more talents, broader base of players, and I think especially on the men's side, I think Sweden have a really bright future. Of course we always dream about that if we take those 150 players who is out in Europe and put them in Sweden and make a professional league and give the funds and everything, of course it would been a dream, but in Sweden it doesn't work like this. But we are just, we educate talent and we send them out. Of course everybody would like them to build, because also the Swedish league is not so good, because if you have 150 players or whatever it is out, when I was in Holland in the Dutch league, they have to go out. All my players need to go out because the quality of the league is like a junior league, and you cannot. So of course you want your own country to be strong. I think I was ready when I went out. I went to Romania first time. I have huge experience from international handball, but I have mainly worked with Swedish players. But Of course, I have my base, how I'm raised by my parents, teachers and professors and everything. But I also understand that you need to create a relation with all players. If I go to Romania and half of them are Romanians, I need to be curious about how they have been raised, what they need. This was a mixed team in Bucharest at that time, but many foreigners. Then I went to Montenegro, who was only Montenegrins, and of course there you need to adopt even more, because it's not about me. It's about how I can be with them. So I think the coach's strongest skill needs to be to adopt and know where you are, because if I'm a pure Swede, outside Sweden, it is not possible. Russia was also tough, with not so many from outside Russia. I have to adopt my leadership. To come back to Holland was okay. It was also difficult for me to come back to the west side of Europe, and it was also a challenge. Here in Hungary, it's a Hungarian big club. My staff is Hungarian, except Uros who is Slovenian. We have 8 nationalities. Of course, I can speak in a different way with the Swedes or the Danish or the Norwegians, but I think the leadership is about to adopt to every situation. And you cannot do the same to all the players, because if you want to treat them the same, you need to treat them different. This is like what I believe in, and that's why I think I had survived now almost 10 years outside Sweden. But I have also picked strong assistants. I didn't bring a Swede. I think also this have helped me. I have all the time taken somebody who knows the society. It doesn't need to be a handball. It's how it is in the society, the hierarchy, the minefield that you need to avoid and stuff. And this have helped me a lot, because I don't need a Swedish guy to hold in my hand. I need a stronger system who also can help me with many other things than just handball. I looked for somebody who can be loyal, of course, but this you never know. I look for competence, and I look for strong, that guy is strong, because I also need to learn something. Because otherwise I get bored. I need to have somebody. Of course, Uros now, Bregar from Balkan, totally different school than coming from Scandinavia. Of course, I can learn from him, he can learn from me, but I need somebody who is self-going, who the players respect, who can have his own training. And of course, in our case right now, I'm responsible for the bigger pictures, and he's good in these details. So, first of all, it's not about to make them happy. This is the first thing. Secondly, I think you should come as close as you can to a player. But there will always be a situation where I have the power. So you need to know, I'm the coach, this is the player. But I think in where we are, where the pressure is so high, and I think the depth of relation is also connected to the bigger, games, the stressful situation. If you know each other better, I also motivate my players to find out more about themselves, because, I spent 20 years where I thought that all players should adopt to me. But in the end, when you got experience, when you know what you can and not can, then you also realize, no, it's the opposite. Then we have the team frames that we decide. This goes for the full team. But then we're down on the roles. Of course, players have different roles. The way of communicating with them must be different, because my job is to make sure that I understand. And then I have to speak with them, draw with them, use the board, whatever, walk with them. This is for me leadership. First of all, you clean your own shit. If you leave a dressing room, if you leave a restaurant, if you have a conference room, you bring your shit, because you cannot be too big to do the small things. You always bring a notebook. You always show people respect around the club, and also because we are role models. Then if we speak about handball, it's return, run and defense, because there you show your character. If we just speak about tactical things, I cannot have players who don't run back. I cannot have players who is showing bad faces or sending bad energy. No, I cannot have. You fight in that, and if you cannot play defense and try, you cannot be in my team. I think actually, if I look at those, as you say, as big egos, and they are so eager to win, they are so allergic against these normal things, and I think I'm actually easier with them, because I'm also, if you're top coach on this level, you're also of course you have a big ego, but you're also different, you're complicated. I think what I have chosen is that some rules or agreement, doesn't matter if you are the big star or if you are the junior. I have also protected juniors and younger players, and I had thrown out not thrown out, but been very hard to the stars, because it's about what we decide. If we decide that this is for everybody, it's also for you. I think I was spending 16 years on the men's side, and then I accidentally changed to the women's side, working with national team, all these countries we mentioned. Of course, if you work on the women's side, you want to try to sit in this Audi chairs here in the arena. I would like to say that this short period, 3 months, was maybe the most interesting period in my life, because I was so they took so care about me, the players. They believed me from day. I came here like a storm wind, because I know that they were in trouble. They were struggling, they were shaky, but also the players, they believed in me. I pushed them, and that helped me, and they also very early tried to help me with things here, and they were supporting. And I think this group, it's hard for me to think that I can have this kind of group again. And then we also went through all of these finals, like 6-7 finals on the way, because we need to win everything. And of course we were strong when we come to Final 4, we were strong. But I also said to myself that this is maybe the last time I can win the Champions League, because if as a coach you want to win the Olympics or the Champions League. Champions League for me goes before World Championship and Euro Championship. I won the World Championship one time, I have a silver in Euro one time, but this is what you want to win, because in Champions League everybody is in and play. So this was a relief, of course. You always think about how you will act when you win something big, but first of all, it was a relief that we didn't lose. And I was proud of myself, because we did a hell of a job to turn things around these 3 months. Yeah, but when you mention her name, look, yeah, I have almost had all the big stars, because I have been in many clubs and also in national teams. To in the end have her. And I know how badly she wanted to end with the Champions League gold. Also, she fought here 5 years without a trophy here, Champions League. And it was also many things in this. But just to be around her every day, when she's positive, when she have the energy, when you can speak to her about everything. And she supported me. She's one of many girls who supported me. But for me, it was fantastic to be so close to her and see actually why she will always be remembered as one of the best female handball players ever. For me, it was just amazing to be around her and what she did for me and for the team. I think the hate and love is the same, because she was a pain in the ass all the time. She come into the zone. She was good in assists. She was brutal in breakthrough. She can shoot from the ground and everything, and you can never relax to her. So this love and hate story, you know. You have to put a lot tactic on her, you know how to do. You have to spend a lot of things for her. But then you have her in your own team, and of course then you know that, okay, now I'm the coach who can use all her good skills. So I think it was amazing time. She was humble, she was a normal. She can, once in a while, she can start to laugh at the bench, you know. She was relaxed. When it was game, she was relaxed, and I liked this. And she always did everything for the fans and always supporting the players when needed. And yeah, just an amazing person first of all, and a fantastic handball player. You have to know that being a coach in Győri, where the pressure is, I think, on the highest level, and they haven't won the Champions League since 2019, and also many players have lost 4 seasons in a row. And we draw Esbjerg, and we actually spoke about this as a final. It was not a final, but I would like to say that Győri and Esbjerg at that stage was the best teams. And I think we played a fantastic game, but also Esbjerg came back in the end, and Sandra Toft saved us there in the end. But this was this semi-final who everybody spoke about, 2 powerhouses, and it was the last piece of the puzzle. Then when we came to the final, I felt myself really relaxed. The players was focused. They will not underestimate Vikingeheim, and we were stronger from minute 1 there. So I think also the calmness was that we have played so many do or die games before. Okay, you don't die, but we say do or die games. We had Debrecen away, we won by 1. We have to beat out Vipers, the defending champions. We had to play Ferencváros here, Esbjerg. It was so many games in a row. So in the end, you grow together, because you cannot study about this. You need to be with your team in the fire. And we had 6, 7 of those games in 2 months. And of course, in the end, if you don't pee in your pants, you will be strong in your head and you will come together and you will be the winner. That's why it's so hard to win. I think actually, if you see it, we handle her good in the semi-final in Champions League. Here she killed us totally, but also when we played the last most important game in the group phase, we handle her good. I think it's of course it's hard to get hybris because everybody knows she's so good, but you have to play normal. You have to play the normal in the system. You need to be a little bit higher. You need to double a little bit more, but you cannot invent things. I think if you start to invent things and do things that you yourself are not used to, then she can even play with you more. Need to play. We have a defense system. How can we use this defense system to her? Yeah, of course, we need to be a little bit tougher. We need to open up spaces for others. We maybe cannot cover the line play, etc., etc. But to face her, it's a huge challenge. I think there is a mix, and you can also pick different ways. Sometimes you can just play normal and she can do her 15 goals, but we cover the others. Or you go all in on her. It means that others are allowed to shoot. Or you just play normal. I think I'm ready for this challenge. I have also been in other powerhouses like Cseszeme Bucharest and Rostov, also where the pressure is here. Here they want me to win all the titles, and this is tough. But it also what I want to do with my team and my players, that we create an environment where we have the capacity to win everything, because it's not just about the player by player. You need to build on the relations. You need to train harder than the others. You need to have a work ethic. Who is better than the others. You need to have a healthy environment where we are allowed to share experience. For example, it starts in many ways. And the pressure you need to cope with. Sometimes the pressure is here, but then you have to find small escapes where you take one night off or you go somewhere. But also when you are in this period that I am now, there is non-stop working. And then you have to rest afterwards. But this is different here. You need to work with the pressure, because it's not only inside, it's this house we are in now, it's the fans, it's the city. Of course, if you have won 6 Champions Leagues, you want to win again. So there is no escape from this, because if you cannot handle pressure here, you go out. It's hard. It's a hard equation, you know, because we also play a lot of games. Of course, we need to do a normal rotation because we want to be ready for the bigger games. But this is the hard part. This is here in ETO, you can play a fantastic game, and 1 week later you don't play. And this you have to cope with, because they are all queens. If you come to Győri, you have been queen somewhere else. But here you don't have any minutes. Here you have to earn the minutes, but also even if you earn them, it's not sure that it's every time you who play anyway. Here is also, if you are good, I can take somebody out, bring another player in, because she's fresh and she can come with more. So there is many things you need to adopt to as a coach. It can be hard, but also the benefit with having many good players is our trainings are like games. You know, we can have high intensity. We can play 6 against 6 more with a squad like this. We all the time can have the duels in every exercise. They all the time a good defender to a good attacker, or a good attacker to a good defender, etc. And this is what we believe in, the hard work every day. And the work ethic here is strong. You know that here I need to work harder, because ETO is big as a club. I'm not bigger than the club. I also have the responsibility I will be here for a short time, if you see in longer period. And then they want me to make sure that we win title today, but that I also are a part that we can win in the future, like play like Anita Görbic, Nico Groth, Stina Oftedal, Amorim, Yvette Broch, but now it's other players. Now it's Kari Bratzett, now it's Estelle, now it's Sandra Toft, and okay, the next. So this is, I think, the secret with Győri, that they also educate new generation to take the lead. You don't see yourself as a champion because you have this small endorphin, dopamine, whatever rush when you win, and then of course the summer, then you start again, and then you don't see yourself as a champion. You see yourself that, okay, now it's a new group, we have 6-7 new players, they need to be integrated. Now we have spent 9 months in a row. Okay, there have been players in, players out, injured players, but the daily work is the key, and then we will see if we can reach it again this year. But I would like us, first, if and when we qualify to Final Four, that we go there, that we have the capacity to win. But this can be another team who can win. But this is my job, to make sure that we are ready for those 2 games. I don't believe in team building in the traditional way. I think it's every day, because we have 9 nationalities, and we need to pick the best out of every individual, also handball-wise, but also as a person. Then we need to build the ETO culture. Okay, what is the culture? And this is happening every day. We need to create like a common view of the reality, and fight for this, and fight that we understand the plan. What is the intention? What is the frames? What is your role here? And we need to sometimes we go into the ditch, we need to help each other. Okay, come back, something happened, and all the time, every day. This is for me the most important. This is the best team building. Always, have the open door for players who want, because also life is going on. Somebody lose a grandfather or a dog or whatever. Life is going on. So we need to. You can say that this is a green family, but we need to be like a family in some occasions. We need to be open to see the warning bells of players who is suffering or is exhausted or have problems. We have to, because you also you have to be brave as a player to say, because you want your spot in the team, you want your minutes, and these girls are tough, they suffer a lot. I think we all need to help each other. For example, if somebody is suffering, then we need to go help her more, put her back into the frame. Like, for example, if you are in the handball field and you have a bad 10 minutes, then we have to fight for this player to come into the court again and do better. This is the same also, because, of course, if we speak or not speak about it, of course, I think in top sport, generally, of course, there is more mental unhealth or whatever you say, but this is more here, because the pressure, also, you go to work every day to play, you need to play in front of 6,000 people, and you failed. Of course, when you go home, close the door, then you are alone. I think I have an advantage now. I'm experienced, that players know that I have been around, and I also have a lot of nationalities. This helped me with the respect that should be on the coach in ETO, but also they respect me for my knowledge. Then we are building the playbook from the players we have. I don't come here with a clear concept, because many coaches will come with clear concept. They want to change everything because they want to put their signum on this. I'm not like this. When I come to a team or a club, I see this works. This is not mine, but this works, we keep it. Then I try to find this 20-25% who we can do better, and then I go all in for this. But I also need to change with the view of handball, because it depends on your player, the quality. Who do I match together? They can play this together, but those 2 players cannot. They have to play something different. We have shooters here, we have specialists, we have breakthrough players, we have good. And then you have, in the end, how I formate them. So we build this also together, because many players in my team have more medals and have played more finals than I have had. Of course, I use them. Of course, I use their experience, because we want to have a feeling that we decide things together. In the end, of course, always me will decide, but on the way in front of the decision, we need to take responsibility. I want to have a player who takes responsibility. It cannot be me all the time. Of course, if I go back to when I played, then the wings were just standing in the corner. The wing defenders was just standing in the corner. You didn't run. You ran 10 times per game. You walked up with the ball. And of course, now every player needs to be mobile. Every coach dream is that the player can play in these 3 departments: defense, contra, attack, and also return. This is what because then we become more mobile. Then we don't need to do so many changes, And this is how it grows, how the sport grows. And also a wing defender today need to be do interception too close. A wing player needs to be a good pivot. She needs to handle the ball in the court, for example. We are much more mobile. Doesn't matter if you're Scandinavian, 6-0 or Spanish. You need to be mobile. You need to cover your bigger spaces. You need to play more aggressive, even if you are a tall player. It's hard to balance this, as you said, because you don't have any time here, because you need to win directly. But I think that the development should be that player maybe 15, 16, 17 is coming from the youth teams instead of buying all the players. But this is also a matter of quality. If a player comes from the youth department and she's good enough, then I, of course, will use her. But it also demands a lot in education, because to get into this team, you need to be You need to be really, really good. But of course, if I can see the future of ETO, my club now, of course it could be good that we all the time have had 2, 3, 4 players who is with us. And maybe the second wing or the second, you know, these players who can, the second goalkeeper, for example, or whatever it is. This of course will be really good for the club. I think others have to define me as a coach, but I want to be a reliable coach with credibility that you can trust, that can sometimes be like an idiot, screaming, jumping, but also hugging players if needed. But they can trust me like an honest guy with a big heart. This is how I want players to look at me. That I push them, I'm demanding a lot from them. But also I do it with a good heart because I want to show that I am ready to do things that I demand from you. Because if a player put in hours, I need to put double in hours with preparation, with tactical meetings, with individual meetings. This is a coach. I want the players to feel safe with me. I would like that I influence my team with my basics from where we come from. That you all the time do your best. That you all the time are correct, and you have respect for your teammates, and you have respect for the coach, and you always try. This is the core values, and also we comes in Scandinavia. I can speak for Sweden that we are good to do things together. Of course, in other countries they are good they don't care so much about the team because they are so good individuals. But we are good, and I hope that this is influencing my players and my team. That we take care of each other. We do things together, and we win together. We lose together. We cry together. We suffer together. We celebrate together. This I hope that I can influence. I think I'm totally terrified about only being the handball coach Per Johansson, because if you got stuck in this, then I think you lose the edge as a coach. If I read more about leadership. I read about coach, or I meet coaches. I try to all the time be curious. Also, when I was in Russia, I started to learn to read Russian authors because I want to learn how they are. I want to be broader than just this guy who cannot function outside the handball, because you need to realize that they are handball players, but they are also persons. And then I also need to develop my skills to handle them as persons. And in the end, make them a better handball players. I learned from Uros. I learned from other. Now my professors is not in life anymore, but I have people that I can speak to. I'm interested in, for example, Graham Henry, he built the All Blacks rugby, Phil Jackson or whoever it is. But I can also be interested in other leaders in other segments. I will stop growing if I'm only stuck here in this. If I hide myself behind this sideline XPS system, then I think it's over, because then you lose the edge. I think we need more support. More support from the federation, more support from everybody around, because this is a quality product, you know. Also many outside viewers like the women's handball more because they understand more. The men's handball today is very, very physical. Rules have changed in favor for the speed and everything. I think it's time for a federation to give back to the defense. This is one thing, but this was not a question for the women's side. I think that we have now, the top is really, really good. The 5, 6, 7, 8, they're strong. But we also all need to work so we can have a league with 16 good teams, for example. I think the only chance is that we go there with our competence that we are there. Not just that we throw some. I did also this project with South African handball, for example. Me and Slatko from Partizan Belgrade, we were there and it was nice. But in the end, when we stopped with this, we need to be there till the end. We need them to build up and help them on every step to promote the handball. And this is a hard thing. This is tough because it costs a lot of money, a lot of effort, and you also need competence people to do it. But I think this is the only way. I, for example, don't believe that we should just have 32 teams. No, I don't think, because it should be an exclusivity also to play in the World Championship or in Europe Championship. This is my vision. Of course, many others, they say different. We need to invite them to this big stage. But we also, if we invite them, we need to take care of them. This because there the development will happen. If you smelled it and you won one time, of course I need to win one more time again, because this is how it works. You know, now I'm here. I proved myself here that I could win Champions League with a team. Now I have to prove that I can do it 2 times. So I'm not just a one-hit wonder. You know, this is how we push ourselves. Sometimes when I have picked national team has also been connected to where I was in a family situation. If I can choose now after huge experience with the club team and national team, I would pick the daily work. Of course, we also compete to others who have the daily works. If you're a national team coach, you're also competing with others who also have the national team 60, 70 days. Then you need to be sharper, more prepared. You cannot waste 2 trainings, for example. You need to be very sharp. And that's why maybe I work so good when I jump into clubs, because there my experience from being a national team coach is important, because there you cannot waste anything. You need to directly find the edge. You know how it is today with the national team weeks, maybe 2-3 trainings maximum. And then you have to wait, and this is terrible. You have to wait 1-2 months again. You have ideas in your head, but you cannot do them until 2 months later. So I am in a good share now. If I play my cards good here, I hope, I wish that I can stay here a bit longer. But it's also connected to the trophies. I'm more cynical now when I was young, because here, if you don't win games or title here, you're out. If you want to come where I am now, you have to sacrifice everything. You have to sacrifice totally everything. You need to go. You need to have the love, who is close to the hate, the hours, because in the end the hours will speak back to you. You need to be open. You need to be curious. I see myself like a student who will never stop to learn things. Many coaches I have seen that they think nobody can help them when they are 30 years old, and they never become here. You need to be curious all the time, but you need to be dedicated, full dedication. You need to find something in life who actually can kill you. This is Charles Bukowski, but you need to go all in. Otherwise, it's also to be a player. You need to sacrifice everything, and you have to live with the consequences, and a little bit luck.